Hello students, welcome back. So here in today's video, I'll be teaching you about the viroids, prions, and let us move on to the new chapter later. Okay, viroids. It sounds like virus, but it's not a virus. So how this viroids differs from virus? So let us understand that first. So how that viroids differs from the virus and why it is named as viroids, let us understand first. So viroids was discovered by T.O. Diener, the scientist who discovered it. So already students, I told you in the last video, so some name of the scientist is important here. You may get confused. So better make a separate paper, in the separate page you write down all the names of scientists which comes under this chapter and have a good knowledge about that, so they don't get confused. So T.O. Diener, in which year he has discovered this viroids? In year 1971. In year 1971, viroids was discovered by T.O. Diener, and it is found to be a new infectious agent. Viroids also a new infectious agent which was found smaller than virus. So viroids are smaller than virus. Some differences, question used to come, what are the differences between virus and viroids? It's smaller than virus. Then one more thing, very important thing is that it has a nucleic acid, or you can also say it has a genetic material but no protein coat. So it has a self-replicating RNA particle. It has a self-replicating RNA particle without a protein coat. Without a protein coat. So that's why it is termed as a viroid. So why the name is viroid? Because it has a RNA as a genetic material, but it don't have that protein coat like of a virus. So that's why it is known as a viroid. It is having something is lacking. So viroid, it's not completely like a virus. It do not having this protein coat that is found in virus, and so it is called as, it is a free RNA. It is made up of a free RNA. That's why the name is, it is named as viroid. That's why it is named as viroid. Okay, so it has only a free RNA, so it is known as viroid. And then one more thing is that RNA of this viroid is of low molecular weight. RNA is of low molecular weight comparing to the virus. Here just we are comparing with the virus. So viroids was discovered by T.O. Diener in year 1971. They are smaller than virus. Then it has a self-replicating RNA, and it is free RNA, because this RNA do not have a protein coat. So it is this RNA particle is without a protein coat. That is why it is named as viroid. Okay, that is why it is named as viroid. Then the RNA which is present in this viroid is of low molecular weight if we compare with the virus. So these are the differences between virus and viroid. So please make a note of that. Write the differences means you should write 1 point. Then here it is self-replicating, and it is a free RNA, and RNA is of low molecular weight. So 4 points must be there to compare with the virus and viroids. So let us study now what are prions. So prions, it is also a infectious agent, but it has only the protein in it. Okay, it has only the genetic material in it, but here it has only a protein coated in it. So we can say that prions are the misfolded. It's a protein which are misfolded proteins. So it's a prions. It's a type of protein which has a misfolded protein. That means a protein can be in different forms. Okay, protein can exist in different forms. They can be folded, of sheath, like that structures are there. So in this case, prions will have a misfolded protein structure, and when it infects a host cell, then it take the normal shape. So prions has a misfolded protein coat. Okay, misfolded proteins. Once they get the host body, they will have the ability to transmit their misfolded shape into normal variants. And it is also fatal and causes a neurodegenerative diseases. Causes neurodegenerative diseases. So it causes diseases, mainly it causes a neurodegenerative diseases, means which affects the central nervous system. For example, so two examples are there for that. I can give you the example for the disease caused by prions. That is spongiform disease caused by prions. Spongiform encephalopathy. Spongiform encephalopathy and bovine, one more. It's also called as mad cow disease, bovine spongiform encephalopathy, which is also called as mad cow disease. Then also you might have heard of Alzheimer's disease, right? So there is also evidence that prions play a part in the small part in the Alzheimer's disease also. To know the Alzheimer's disease, you might have heard of the Alzheimer's disease. Okay, if you don't know the Alzheimer's disease, and if you want to know the symptoms of Alzheimer's disease, there is a movie which explains the various symptoms of this Alzheimer's disease. And in the Malayalam, there is a movie called as Tanmatra. So you can find out the symptoms of that Alzheimer's disease. So that's why I taken that example to that Alzheimer's disease can also be caused by prions, and it is not completely prions. It is also some evidence is that prions also play a part of the role is also played by this prions in Alzheimer's disease. Then what is the disease caused by viroids? Viroids causes the disease like spindle tuber disease. In the potato, viroids causes a disease called as potato spindle tuber disease. Potato spindle tuber diseases. It is not only this, many diseases are there. So one example which in which that disease is caused by this viroids is that spindle tuber disease. Then also some of the diseases also caused in plants by these viroids. Okay, so in by this we have almost come to an end of this second chapter, that is biological classification. So here when I am discussing about the viroids and all, just thought of that current situation also. It's a pandemic because of this coronavirus. So coronavirus also a part of this virus itself. So it's a family of virus. Okay, this coronavirus, a COVID-19, which is also called as COVID-19. So it is a part of the family of this virus. Okay, and which cause some of the illness in humans, including it also causes some disease like SARS and MERS. SARS means severe acute respiratory syndrome. So like that, it causes those diseases also. Then this why this virus why this corona has named as coronavirus, reason is that because of its shape. That shape is like it has a possessing some protrusions outside of that structure. Because of that protrusions, it has named as corona virus, because that it looks like a crown. Okay, so that it takes a form of crown with the protrusions around it. So it is named as corona. Then it is. See, if you ask me that whether it is a fatal, we cannot say because it is a new strain, right? So since it is a new strain, the antiviral drugs has to be developed. So it can be. It's better to stay away from this, be safe from this, so that we can avoid the infection. So this, since it is a new strain, specific vaccine is not developed, so it is little dangerous. Then except Antarctica continent, it is almost spread to all over the other continent. It has already spread it. And then here, because of this problem of, you know about the reasons and after effects of this problem and all. Anyhow, the global economy has reduced because of the reduction in the travel and all. Then better way. So how can we prevent ourselves from this coronavirus? You are already very familiar with that. Everywhere you can see here in the news as well as in the mobile tunes and all, you can see in every places. So here people who are suffering from some of the cardiovascular diseases or from diabetes or chronic respiratory diseases are more likely to be develop some of the serious illness. Okay, the people who are having already the cardiovascular or some other problems there, they have more problem. They can face more problem. It leads to many illness if those people are getting affected by this. Then best things way to prevent is you have to slow down the transmission, so that you can reduce the rate of transmission of this disease. And best way is to keep hygienic yourself by sanitizing your hands, washing your hands with the water, as well as you can also keep distance, so that since it spreads only through air, you can also spreads mainly through the air. You can also have a physical distance and follow whatever the measures you are nowadays we have to follow, so that you can be safe from this viral disease, that is coronavirus. So best thing is reduce the transmission of that. So as well as once you come outside, avoid touching your face and all, so that you can avoid the contact of the virus if it is there in any part of the place where you are there. So I hope you will follow all the preventive measures, and you also can help to, so that you can also help to reduce this transmission of this corona, and also we can be safe from the pandemic disease. So follow all the preventive measures and be safe at home as well as avoid coming out unnecessarily to outside, right? So that you can also remain away from that infection, or you can also reduce the transmission of that virus. So let us go with the next chapter then. Students, ready? So I'm starting with the next lesson chapter. It is Chapter 3, it is Plant Kingdom. Okay, so Chapter 3, it is Plant Kingdom. So in the previous chapter, we looked at the classification. In the biological classification, we understood how the classification system has brought and what are the main categories involved in it. Okay, so in that we know that plant comes separately. So here in this chapter we will deal with the further classification within the kingdom Plantae. Okay, so here in this chapter we are going to learn further classification under the Plantae, because plant is not a single plant we can see numerous plants are there. So if you have that a wide variety of plants, will be difficult for us to learn and study in detail. So to make our study detail or better and easy, we should have a proper classification system so that we can assign the plants to each category and can study thereby. So this classification of plant has we will discuss what are the classification of plant. Here the plants are classified as algae, bryophytes, then pteridophytes and gymnosperms. Okay, so main categories of plant are algae, then bryophytes, then comes the pteridophytes, gymnosperms, algae, then bryophytes, gymnosperms, algobryophytes, then comes the pteridophytes, then comes the gymnosperms, then angiosperms. Okay, so let me tell about the classification system first, then we will go to the type of classes, subclasses. So here, even though in the classification system, in the 5 kingdoms classification system, we understood that they are well categorized, they are well explained, they are most accepted. Some drawbacks were there, where the Monera and Protista were not placed properly, because Monera in that cyanobacteria which have both the property of plant. And if you take the Protista, each category are very different from each other. For example, slime molds have the plant property as well as animal property. So somewhere this was one demerits in the 5 kingdom classification. That is, some members of Monera and Protista having cell walls have been excluded from plant A, though their earlier classification placed them in the same kingdom. So from here, that cyanobacteria is referred as blue-green algae. So even though it is considered Monera, it is named as algae. So this was some of the demerits in the 5 kingdom classification. So in plant, we will discuss about these types of subclasses of plant. Now let us understand systems of classification. What are the systems of classification? So there are 4 systems of classification are there. Okay, before we are going to learn about the classes of plant kingdom, let us understand the system of classification. So systems are, natural system of classification is there, then artificial system of classification is there, then phylogenetic system of classification is there, phylogenetic system of classes, and 4th type is the phenetic system of classification. I'll tell you about this now. See, natural system, artificial system, phylogenetic system of classification, and phenetic system of classification. So first one is so first actually we can consider artificial, then comes natural, phylogenetic, phenetic. Okay, so anyhow we are going to learn in one by one. The phenetic system, let me tell about the phenetic system. See, phenetic system which takes in consideration of additional characteristics. For example, the previous classification system was phylogenetic system of classification, in which the evolutionary relationship was considered. Sometimes the evolutionary relationship will not be available and it shows discontinuous. There will be discontinuity in the availability of this phylogenetic relationship. So in that case, we can use some of the additional characteristics, like maybe using some of the cytological features, or some of the characteristics can be taken into consider, and like what are the... So here additional criteria, methodologies are used when there is a difficulties in the evolutionary relationship because of the lack of fossil evidence. So we can use some of the evidence with the help of some of the computer or with the help of some of the numbers or features other than this will be considered in the phonetic system of classification. So let me start with the first one, artificial system of classification. In the artificial system of classification, only the observable characters are taken. Artificial system of classification is one of the earliest system of classification where only the observable characters are taken into considered, and as well as the vegetative characters. Now, problem with the taking this vegetative characters as well as the sexual characters also taken into considered. Problem is that vegetative characters, for example, the plant which you are seeing here, any plant, any vegetable plant, suppose a brinjal plant, or if you take any other cucumber plant or tulsi plant, if you go and compare with the other states of that same plant, they may show some variations regarding the height or regarding the structure of leaf or some of the regarding with their nature of the flower. Some differences can be seen. So the vegetative characters are not can be considered as one of the characters to classify, because these vegetative characters are influenced by the climatic conditions. So it is influenced by the climatic conditions. So we cannot consider the vegetative characters. So this this is one of the earliest system of classification, used only gross superficial morphological characters. It has used only the superficial morphological character. What is a morphology and anatomy? Morphological. So it used only the some superficial morphological characters. Morphology means study of external features. Okay, external features is called as morphology and internal features is called as anatomy. So in the artificial system of classification, it has used only the gross superficial morphological characters. So what are the morphological characters? Can be a habitat, color, height. Okay, so and this system of classification was given by Linnaeus. Okay, who has given this artificial system of classification? It is brought by Linnaeus. The drawback with this system of classification is that it has kept separated. The closely related species has been kept separated because of the superficial characters. So they have separated the close related species, and because they were based on only few observable characteristics. So that's why it was not accepted. Then next system of classification is the natural system of classification brought by Bentham and Hooker. Okay, so natural system of classification is it is more acceptable, and it is based on natural affinities. Okay, so natural system of classification. Who developed this natural system of classification? Artificially is brought by Linnaeus. Its natural system of classification is brought by Bentham and Hooker. Okay, so against this artificial system of classification, natural system has used some of the characteristics. Okay, it is based on the natural affinities among the organism, and it is not only considered the external features, it also considered the internal features like anatomy, embryology, cell features. Then also it has considered the ultrastructure of cell. Okay, and it is brought by Bentham and Hooker. Then phylogenetic system of classification. It's already I told in the last lesson. So I think it's no need of repeating it again. So phylogenetic system of classification uses the evolutionary relationship between the organisms. So it considers the evolutionary relationship between the various organisms, and it is also acceptable. Then next comes the here this phylogenetic system of classification considers the evolutionary relationship, and in case the evolutionary relationship are not available due to the lack of some of the evolutionary relation, because evolutionary relationship can be collected through the fossil records and all. If the fossil records are not enough and it is not sufficient, then we have to go with the other additional characters. So it is that's a system which uses additional characters are the phonetic system, which includes numerical taxonomy, cytotaxonomy, like that. So phylogenetic system of classification attempts to classify from simple to complex based on their genetic and ancestral relationship. So according to the phylogenetic system of classification, organisms belonging to the same taxa can have different ancestors. Okay, organisms which belongs to the same taxa can have different ancestors. So phylogenetic system of classification has considered the phylogenetic relationship between the organisms, as well as it has considered some of the character ancestor relationship, and it has attempts to classify the organic plants based on the simple to complex. Okay, then here to resolve, as I already told you, if there is a lack of fossil evidences are there, then we have to go with the next method of classification system, which is known as phonetic system. In that, one type is a numerical taxonomy. So numerical taxonomy is classification using computers. So this classification system is using the computer. So here it is carried out using computer. It's carried out using computers, and as well as assigning numbers to the characters. You carried out using computers. Okay, so here characteristics are considered. Here plus point is that all the characteristics are taken into considered. So for example, some data or some signs are given for the characteristics. So if the characters are present, plus is there. If the characters are not present, minus. If the data are unavailable, then like this. So the advantage of this numerical taxonomy is that it considers all the characteristics. Okay, in the first system, artificial system, only observable characteristics were taken. In the natural system, they have considered both the morphology as well as anatomical features, even the internal features, then as well as their cytological features also taken into considered. Okay, but in this sometimes what happens, then next comes the phylogenetic system. Here evolutionary relationship are considered, and when the evolutionary evidences are not enough, when there is if there is a lack of evidences of evolutionary relationship, then next classification system gives a which comes more useful is a numerical taxonomy, in which the numerical taxonomy is carried out using the computers. Here number and codes are assigned for all the characters, and data are then processed. So in this way, each character is given equal importance and all the characters are considered here. This is a plus point of this numerical taxonomy. The next type of phonetic system is cytotaxonomy. Have you heard of cytology? Cytology, you heard of the cytology, study of cell. It's called a cytology. So cytotaxonomy means a system of classification which is based on the cytological features, cellular features. What are the features can be considered here? So it uses features like chromosome number, chromosome structure, likewise. It uses the cytological features like chromosome number, then chromosome structure, then also other cellular features and its behavior and all. For example, every species number of chromosomes is constant. Okay, for some time we know that our number of chromosomes is, that's the number of chromosomes in human body, it is 48. And if you take in some other plants and all, sometimes it may have 12 and sometimes it has more than that. For example, potato has also have the 48 number of chromosomes.